Alright, so we haven't done one of these in a long time. Long time. I have unearthed the Ask FM. It's been literally a year and a half, I think, since I've done an Ask FM Q&A. People are still asking questions for some reason. So I thought let's go ahead and go back into this program or app or website, whatever, and answer some questions from there. Yeah, so I'm having fun. I used to have a lot of fun doing these, so I figured why not bring them up from time to time. You know what I mean? And answer some questions from all of you on the Ask FM. It used to be, I still should be Ask FM, ask.fm/Geekdom 101. So as we speak right now, I should be in Texas hosting KamehamehaCon, the first ever Dragon Ball convention, but I figure I'm recording this video before I head down there, so y'all should have some content, while I'm away out of town. Plus, there's other videos that are going up too that I've been working on as well. So let's go ahead and answer these questions. All right, first one from Mike Duke. Yamcha versus Mr. Satan. Brother, Yamcha would kill Mr. Satan in a fight. I'm trying to figure out how to X out of this. Yeah, see, I don't know how do you X? There used to be a way you can just X out the question. Whatever. I'm answering them here. I'm not answering them written. Who made Turles? I guess you mean who are Turles' parents, and the answer is we do not know. We know nothing about Turles' backstory, except that he's a low-class warrior who looks just like Goku. He is not related to Goku in any way at all. He looks like Goku. Which is better in your opinion, TMNT and Transformers, Heroes in the Half Shell versus Robots in the Skies? I actually missed the Transformers boat by just a few years, but I was there for Turtle Mania, so I'm always going to have a soft spot for the Turtles, but later on I picked up on Transformers. I think the Turtles are a little bit better for me. Look, dude, the Turtles were a big part of my childhood. You know what I mean? And it's interesting because Toei Animation worked on both franchises. The 86 Transformers movie and the 87 Turtles first season were animated by Toei. Or at least they helped out. So I like that connection there. Favorite Power Ranger series? Mighty Morphin is the OG, but I've always been partial to Ninja Storm. I liked Time Force. Time Force was awesome. And I liked In Space. Even though it had some bad episodes, it had a lot of really good episodes too. So those are the two that I'm going to pick there. In Space, Mighty Morphin are my two picks. I'm sorry, In Space, Time Force, but I like Mighty Morphin as well. Vegeta versus Hit. As of the end of the Tournament of Power, Vegeta has much more raw power with his Ssb evolution, but Hit was able to somewhat contend with Jiren despite being much weaker than him. Well, so was Vegeta for a time. Plus, his techniques put him well beyond just ordinary power level. I would say Vegeta, of course. What do you think? I think it is Vegeta. I think Vegeta beats Hit in a fight, because one thing about Dragon Ball that they seem to always go back to is that a lot of it is rooted in power. And if you remember when Goku fought Hit in those in-between episodes during their rematch with the whole, like, when Goku died and whatnot, Goku was able to beat Hit's techniques just purely on power. And we know that Ssb evolved Vegeta is like higher than Kaioken 20 Goku, at least slightly higher at the very least. Depends on whether you lowball or highball him, but no, I think Vegeta would defeat Hit. But remember, Hit gets stronger every fight, so we have to keep that in mind too. Plus, Hit, I don't know if Vegeta can surpass the time cage. I don't know if he can. In the Tournament of Power, there were tons of ring outs that weren't through sheer power, but utilizing strategy. What was the best maneuver in your opinion? For example, Hit leading Dyspo to the edge of the ring, then time skipping away, or Goku cutting up Jiren's footing with destructive disc. That's my favorite one. You named it. When Goku used the Kienzan to cut like the ground underneath Jiren, and he fell down, I fell in love with that so much, dude. I loved that so freaking much. Then, of course, there's Krillin using his shoe, which didn't work out so well. Possible video idea. Who do you think was the most intelligent fighter in Tournament of Power? Putting power aside, who strategized, finessed, or was just overall the most efficient fighter? On a similar note, who was the best support fighter of 17? Actually, I think 17 was the smartest fighter in the tournament. I really do. I think he survived the entire thing and won. He was the strongest fighter in this thing. Better technique, the time cage or the time lapse, both used by Hit, one in the anime, one in the manga. I'm going to go with the time cage. Time lapse is just a weaker version of it. Time cage seems just more impressive, so I'm going to go with that. Since the characters can only get stronger for so long, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more unique and strange abilities. Well, that's kind of what happened in Dragon Ball Z. If you go back and you examine Toriyama's writing, when he got to the Cell Saga and Perfect Cell, Cell was like the embodiment of the ultimate villain because he had the powers and abilities of all the previous fighters, in the series, including Frieza, Goku, Vegeta, obviously, Piccolo. So when they beat him, I feel like Toriyama was thinking, okay, this guy's like the ultimate villain. What can we do to make a villain more powerful than him? And then when the Buu Saga began, it was all about magic. So you saw people like Dabura using spit that will turn you to stone. You saw Babidi's magic. So these characters all had more magical abilities than they did power. So I do think that as the series progresses, we have to kind of see something different than just strength. He goes on to say, like, Dyspo's faster than reflex speed style. Well, everybody has that. Hit, time skip, illusionist, like the ones from Universe 4. This isn't a question, just statement of how things can stay sensible. Well, we've already seen illusion stuff in Dragon Ball. That's nothing new. It's just that we're seeing different stuff in terms of power, like different kind of techniques, but it's the same thing. So, time skip is relatively new, but it's really just another version of super speed when you think about it. Do you need to have a lot of technical expertise to become a YouTuber? I have some opinions in many different communities. I don't think I'm quite heard, so I have to start putting myself out there. How difficult would you say it is? Difficult. It's hard to answer that question. I don't think you have to have a lot of technical expertise because there's tons of tutorials out there that will help you with anything you want, but it does help. Like if you know search engine optimization, if you know how to edit, obviously you can always get an editor, but if you know how to edit, it helps. Editing audio and video. So yes, it helps tremendously if you know your way around that. Plus social media, how to utilize that. But hey, man, just get started. Just get it popping. I have no idea who sent this over. These are all anonymous questions. How far would Videl have made it in 21st Tenkaichi Budokai? Semifinals, how strong would you say she is in comparison to Yamcha or Krillin or even Goku from that time period? And I mean after her flight training. Great question. I may turn that into its own video here. First of all, she would have made it to the semifinals at the very least. I don't think she could have beaten Master Roshi or Goku even back then because Master Roshi and Goku at that time... Bro, Master Roshi blew up the moon, bro. No, like, she's not beating Master Roshi. She's not beating Jackie Chun. She's probably not going to beat Yamcha or Krillin, even though Krillin had not been introduced to the series yet. I'm going to leave Krillin out of this because he had not been introduced to the series. I mean, he was introduced, but he really didn't fight, like, a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't really fight. Like, he was there, but he didn't really fight like he would later. But even if we put him in there, yeah, I still think Yamcha and Krillin, being trained by Roshi is like a different beast altogether. Even if she knew how to fly, yes, she would have a tremendous advantage in flying because nobody in Dragon Ball knew how to fly until the 22nd Budokai when we got to Tenshin Han and Chaozu, right? So yes, that would be extremely beneficial. However, in order for her, whenever she tries to attack one of these characters, they're just too fast for her. So I don't think she stands a chance against any of these characters. Cabba SS1 versus Ribrianne. I'm going to go with Ribrianne because Ribrianne appeared when she got really strong. She got gigantic, and I think she's stronger than Cabba there. My opinion only. So, there you go. If you disagree, that's okay. Which backstory would you like to see most? Toppo on his way to becoming a Pride Trooper, then God of Destruction. Hit training and becoming a legendary assassin that he is, or Beerus becoming God of Destruction. Out of those three, I'm going to go with the Hit one. Because the idea of Hit being a legendary assassin 1,000 years ago is the most interesting story because 1,000 years ago was a long time. And I like this whole concept of, like, him... think about it. Like, 1,000 years into the past, the universe was different. And it would give us a view of Universe 6 a bit more. And Toppo, I think, would be cool, but it's not necessary for me, honestly. And Beerus... that might not be much of a story. But so out of the three that you gave me, I'm going to go with the Hit one. Okay. Of the three early fights against Jiren, Goku versus Jiren round 1, Hit versus Jiren, and Vegeta versus Jiren, they were all outclassed. Who would you say performed the best? Hit, who stalled Jiren, Goku, who clashed a bit but then got blown away, or Vegeta, who knocked him down with no damage? I'm gonna say Vegeta. I think Vegeta performed the best against Hit. In fact, as the fight continued, he got stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm gonna go with Vegeta on this one. I think he did. If and when Super returns, what potential other than universe arcs could you see happening? They'll of course go to Universe 6 to visit Planet Sadala. Maybe a trip to Universe 11 to help the Pride Troopers. Perhaps some robot hijinks in Universe 3. Some more magical girl stuff in Universe 2. What say you? I agree with all that. I have this idea of them bringing in like other characters from different realms as well, because remember, every universe has like its own sort of realms. You know what I mean? And you could always introduce new kinds of enemies for them to face off there. Plus, there's also 4 universes, 1, 5, 8, and 12, that we know virtually nothing about, including their fighters. So there's tons of ideas they could do. Tons. Also, this movie coming on with the Saiyans of the past, and you wrote this 10 days ago, so you probably didn't even know about that information then. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that kind of, to me, sticks out. How strong would you say Gohan is in comparison to the Ssb transformations and Golden Frieza and such? If we're talking about in the term of power, I'm going to say that he stated, now again, this is interesting. I'm going to have y'all comment your thoughts on this. He made it seem like he would beat Golden Frieza. And he said it confidently. But we didn't really see how strong Golden Frieza was until later on. So, like, truly was. So I don't think Gohan's stronger than Golden Frieza. I don't care what he said. I just don't think so. As far as Ssb transformations, I think, and this is my opinion, by the time Tournament of Power happened, I think Ultimate Gohan was probably stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta from Resurrection F. I could be wrong on this, though. In fact, I'm not confident when I say that, so let me backtrack a little bit. I think Gohan the TOP might be as strong as those guys, or maybe below. See, I don't think Gohan's God tier, though. That's the thing. I just don't see him being God tier. And if he's not God tier, he's not going to screw with any of those guys. So, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm changing my mind right now. I don't think Gohan is as strong as those guys. He might be close. I don't think so. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments why. Because I really would like to hear your thoughts. Because the Gohan scaling in this arc was weird. Is Dyspo faster than Jiren? Probably a stupid question since Jiren was considering contending with UI. It's just that Zeno comment on not being able to see Dyspo fighting Frieza, but he had no complaints about Goku versus Jiren. That's just inconsistent Dragon Ball. Yes, Jiren is faster than Dyspo. It's inconsistent Dragon Ball. I mean, in Resurrection F, Bulma is watching Vegeta, Goku, and Frieza fighting in the sky, and there is no way that a regular human mortal woman like Bulma, who's had no training at all, could actually keep up with that fight. Especially when they made it a point in the Saiyan saga when, and this is way, way back, when they're fighting and Piccolo's training Gohan on how to see the fight. Remember that whole thing? Gohan had training, potential, power. Bulma has none of that. And she's watching the fight. Or at least it's implied she's watching the fight. She's looking at it. That's just Dragon Ball being what it is. Sorry if you've gotten this question before. I don't remember seeing any videos on this, like this on your channel. Who thinks the better wife, Bulma or Chi-Chi? I have not done that video yet. I'm going to go with probably Chi-Chi. It might be a controversial thing. Like, yeah, like Bulma, it has more money. She's not... It's tough, bro, because Bulma's never really done anything shady. You know what I mean? Neither one of them have. But Chi-Chi seems like the kind of person who would, like, break her back to make a good meal for you and kind of, you know, really supportive. Even though she's not supportive of Goku's fighting, Bulma seems more supportive. So, again, that's a tough question because in some ways, both for different reasons. But I'm going to say Chi-Chi a little bit, even though Bulma does have more money and does have a better quality of living. It's a tough one, bro. It really is tough. And we're talking about, like, throughout the whole series, not just one part of it. Would you rather die because of a booty quake or drown in a sea of titties? The second one. Why do you think there's such a divide in the Dragon Ball community, mainly between fans and fanboys, Goku fanboys, Vegeta fanboys? Why is there so much hate? I'm not really sure why, but I disagree in the sense of I don't think Goku and Vegeta fanboys fight that often. The most frequent conflicts that I've seen, I mean, there's always conflict. Like, every week you go on Twitter and somebody's triggered about something. Whether it be a video game they didn't want a feature that's missing from a game, or the anime being inconsistent. I feel like the biggest debates between Dragon Ball fans are sub versus dub, music, and what they like more, like Super versus GT, and those seem to be the most heated debates. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like, and some also power scaling can get toxic too, depending on who's doing it. To me, at the end of the day, it is annoying to me that there's that much hate in the community, and a lot of it is based on willful ignorance. There's people in this world, and it really boggles my mind where, like, you show them evidence of something, like scientific evidence and proof, and they literally ignore it and call you a liar. Like, I'm the willfully ignorant. I did a whole video about it that was controversial, a year ago, and you just can't reason with them. But if you're having a debate about what you like more, as long as you keep it respectful, that's cool. But when you start calling each other names and and I'm guilty of it too. I'm not saying I'm innocent here. It's just how it is. Hopefully everybody can be cooler. I've chilled out a lot in the past couple of years, I think. Okay. Manga anime comparison, Hit versus Jiren. Which do you prefer? I said it in my review. Anime a little bit more. I like the way he fought in the manga, but was definitely fighting smarter in the anime. In both fights, Hit's given the shit stick. But what do you think was executed better? I think the anime was, but they OP'd Jiren a little bit. That's the only thing. He's really powerful. Anyways, that is it. That is it for this edition of the Ask FM Q&A. Haven't done one in a while. Hope y'all are having a great day. Hope I can entertain you for a few minutes here before y'all get back to it. And I love you all, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. And again, so many videos coming that I have done that I'm going to slowly be sprinkling out, plus a couple of big projects debuting on the channel very soon. So very excited about that. Thank you, and I'll talk to you down the road.